Hello everyone, welcome to Stories, Treasures, and Tea. I'm Marian and I want to extend a very warm welcome to those of you who are brand new here watching, and a very warm welcome to those of you who have been here since day one and all those in between. So I really appreciate your comments. I would really appreciate if you can subscribe. I know when you get to a 1,000 subscribers, it's a milestone. So if you could subscribe, I would be ever so thankful. So I had a comment this week from a lady from Belgium. And I think it's just wonderful that, we can communicate and talk to people from all over the world. It's fabulous. So Stories, Treasures, and Tea. I'm going to begin with treasures, but before I do, I want to talk about our weather. It is spring here, but on the weekend, the sunrise was beautiful. I can see the sunrise from my outdoor deck, which I love. I'm very fortunate to have that. But it was kind of a cloudy day, and the sky was an unusual look. And I wondered if that had to do with the varying weather, because that day, later in the day, it was so beautiful. It was more like summer than spring. And I was able to enjoy a cup of tea and read my book out on the deck. And then the next day, it was snow. The deck was covered in a light blanket of snow. Unbelievable here. But we do know that spring is here, and it will continue to get warmer. So this week I did go to a thrift shop. I didn't get anything there this week, but I did find this treasure in a store locally, and it is a cushion, a toss cushion, and it has birds on it. I love birds and bird decor, and it's also indoor or outdoor, like it's kind of a water repellent fabric, and it also has this kind of canvas sort of trim, so it's really quite good quality. Or I guess it's burlap, that's what it is. And I got that at our Giant Tiger, which I believe is only in Canada, but I know that Amazon has a lot of different outdoor cushions with birds. Amazon also has a lot of outdoor cushion covers. So, whichever way you like to do it, and it's nice to have some comfortable things outside on your patio or deck. So I love that treasure. And the other thing I got was on Amazon. And I don't usually order things like this from Amazon. I don't order a lot of things on Amazon right now, but I saw an ad for it and I thought, I wonder how that would be. So I took a chance and I ordered it. And it is a bathing suit. I'm not going to model it, but I'm going to just show you this. It's a cute little kind of retro look, I think, like a pinup girl look. And this one's got polka dots, but they had every color. And I saw in the comments, it said one woman ordered it and she was worried because she's tall and she has a long torso, and she worried that it would not, be too short, and it wasn't. So then I was worried that it might be too long for me because I have a short torso. I'm 5'2", but as it turns out, the back, it doesn't come down low in the back for me, but it's beautiful. It's got support. It's got some nice support. And the thing I like about it is the straps are very adjustable. So that was a great find. You know, I have gone looking for bathing suits and tried on many, and didn't have luck. So I thought, well, I don't know how this will be. I'll send it back if I have to. Anyway, it fits. It's not like skimpy. It's comfortable. There's stretch and there's some ruching in the tummy. So I loved it. I think it was $32 on Amazon. And I can write the name of it for you if you're interested in that. I don't get anything from Amazon yet. I hope I can figure out how to do that sometime, but I just ordered it and I really liked it. So that was my treasures this week. And I'm just going to talk about my tea today. And it's called biscuit tea. It's not Ti Amo, part of our business that we have, but it's a tea that I've always loved, and it's called biscuit tea, and it does taste like a biscuit. It's very nice. It's from a British company, Yorkshire Tea, and you can see it's called Biscuit. I think this is available, it's online, or if you have like a British shop close to you, you would find that there, but very nice. And whenever I've had this for people that come over, they always quite like it. So that was my tea for today. So the stories I'm going to talk about today are to do with trust, and especially at the end of a relationship. Because if you have been cheated on, or your trust has been broken, it is a very difficult thing to get that back. But I'm just going to read a little something here that is from this author that I've read you things before from him, because he does, like reflections on divorced and separated people. And what he said is this: struggle hard to regain and deepen your trust, because it can be done. Tell yourself that you are not perfect, and neither is anyone else. To expect perfection of self or others is to expect the impossible. And to expect perfection here is to never be able to trust. If you are going to trust anyone, you must trust within the framework of recognizing that people are not perfect. Act in a trusting way, and even if you do not feel like it, eventually the feeling of trust will come. So it's once again kind of fake it till you make it. And that's what he said, and that helped me through a lot of things too. At the end of my relationship, I felt like I couldn't trust anybody again. And not just in a romantic relationship, but just people in general. I had this loss of trust. But I think one of the things too is time, for sure. So I'm going to now, I was listening to this other gentleman. I don't know why this week it was all men that I kind of, found inspiration from. But this guy, he's an author, and his name is Stephen Laboursier, French name. And he said there are three things that he believes will help you gain trust. And he said, number one, healing from the breakup of the relationship. So number one is healing. And we talked about healing in one of our videos here. And I remember at the end of my relationship, when it was just recent, I would cry and cry because I wasn't healed. I remember it happened in July, and I had to go back to work in September, and I was teaching. So I thought, I can't go back to work. I can't do it. But I did. But I would cry in the morning because the routine in the morning was so different than it had been in 30 years. You know, my husband wasn't there getting ready for work. And I would cry in the morning, and then I would try to get myself together. I would go to work and I would teach. Sometimes during the day at lunchtime, I would have to go to the ladies' room and, you know, gain my composure. And then I would go teach. But every day I would come home, driving home, crying. I did that for weeks. And then I found that there would be days, I remember specifically, there would be days when I would cry only twice. And I thought that that was the start of the healing, and it was. And so I would be happy about that and think, okay, I only cried twice today. And I think that is part of the, you know, kind of celebrating the healing. And we talked about that healing is, it's a wonderful journey because you are getting better, even though in the crux of it, it's so difficult. So that's the first thing that this fellow said will help us to trust again, heal from the breakup as best that you can. Number 2, he said, be open and transparent with other people about your issues. So let them know that you've been through this breakup or whatever the trust broken situation was for you. Let people know that you've been through this and you do have trust issues. And many times people who are caring and interested in you can be sympathetic to that. So that was the second thing he said. I remember at the end of my relationship too, I lived in a big house. Eventually I had to sell that house and I moved to a small house. Well, we were in that house for 15 years and we accumulated a lot of stuff with, you know, the family. And so I had to get rid of a lot of things, which I did, but then I had too much stuff in the little house. When I got there, I was overwhelmed because there was emotions of the end of the marriage and the move and so much stuff. So it was overwhelming. So I hired a young woman that helped me organize. It was just for a day. She was there. Maybe it was 2 days. It might have been 2 days. And I had a little bit of money after I sold the house. So I hired this young woman. And I remember I told her the whole story. At that time, I would tell the whole story, every detail, to anybody that would listen. And it was interesting how people would open up about their own troubles and their own lives. But when I told her the story and how, you know, my husband had left for this other woman, and she said to me, you can never trust anyone 100%. And I remember thinking, that's quite cynical. I trusted my husband, and then I thought, did I really trust 100%? And I think now that we really can't, not a 100%, because no one is perfect. So that young woman was wise in her youth. She was quite a wise young girl. So the third thing he says is this same sort of thing. Know that no human is 100% perfect. So his 3 things to help us through trust issues. Number 1, healing from the end of your relationship as best you can. 2, be open and transparent about your trust issues. And 3, know and realize that no one is 100% perfect. So I thought that was helpful. Here's our Lilibet. She's having a cookie and she's ready to have a sleep. Say hi to the people. Okay. Her cookie crumbs are all over me. She's part Pomeranian and she's a good little girl. And I'm going to end our video today with a little bit of calm. And I've been watching this young man also, and his name is Michael Gallion, and maybe some of you have seen him. We have talked about him before, and he said to practice this sort of idea. And what you do is, where you are right now, just bring some calmness. Look at a door in your room. Look at any door, and at that door, envision someone you care very, very much for, and they care for you. Someone that is very, you care deeply for them. Think of that person walking through this door, and they come and sit beside you. They hold your hands. They look into your eyes, and they say, "You are good. There is nothing wrong with you. There is nothing that needs fixing. You are good, and you are going to be okay." So stay with that thought for a moment, and then put your hand on your heart and say it to yourself. I am good. There is nothing wrong with me, nothing that needs to be fixed, and I will be okay. So go with that feeling for the week, and we'll see you next week. Bye.